What's up, guys, and welcome to another roster review here. I'm really enjoying doing these videos, and again, this one is for LePi Knight from the Gildy McGildenstein East. I'll read his notes here in a second, but for those of you that have messaged me about roster reviews over Discord, that's the way I want it done. Please message me on Discord. That's the way I can keep things organized. Most of you have actually left notes saying that, hey, this is how I want it done, or, you know, this is what I want to look to get better at. For those of you that are looking for a roster review in the future, or for those of you that have messaged me already and I've given you the okay that I'm going to do it, if you want to add, some of you have already, some background about, you know, what you're looking to get better at, what you want to focus on, so that I can read through it on video, and I can really make the videos more focused to help you out and help other people's out as well. So we're going to read right now. LePi Knight, he wrote me this. He said, I just watched your latest video, and as you mentioned, we can message you to get a professional opinion on my roster. I don't know if I'm a professional, but I'm definitely going to give you a good opinion. I'm from Germany. Awesome. This is, I mean, we're connecting with people from around the world. And in a American multi-guild. Right now, I don't know what to work on and would really appreciate if you could give me a few directions to focus on. Your videos are very cool, and I enjoy watching them. Keep up the good work. So let's take a look at it. Not very specific, which is okay if some of you want to be more specific. So it looks like he's able to get 18th in Fleet Arena and 24th in Squad Arena. I'm guessing he can probably move up farther than that too. So that's definitely solid. He has a 2.1 million galactic power. Actually, we're going to look at ships first because they're easier to go over, less ships. If we're going to talk about ships directly at the moment, probably the first thing you're going to be wanting to work on is farming the Houndstooth. Farm the Houndstooth, you get Jango Fett from the same node. That's something that if you want to be very successful at the game and be able to get to first in Fleet Arena a lot easier, try to get that to 7 stars. You have the TIE Silencer, the TIE Advanced to 7 stars, and the Phantom and the Ghost. That's the team I run. There is a new meta that I don't run and I don't use, and nobody in my shard uses it, that involves Mace Windu's ship, and then Lando's Falcon, Anakin's ETA, the Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter, Umbaran's Starfighter. I don't know it exactly because I haven't really studied it as much, but probably in your Fleet Arena right now and before more ships come out, you'd want to make sure to get the Houndstooth for sure. That's the one ship I would focus on, and I think you'll be good with that. You're already able to get like 18th, so didn't mean to click on that there. So you're definitely okay. I was just going to go down and look at your capital ships here, and you have the Chimera. I'm guessing you're using the Executrix, which you are. Again, focus on getting the Chimera to 7 stars, which you will be able to because you have the Ghost and the Phantom at 7 stars, which is excellent. Okay, now to your inventory. I'm going to look first at all the Legendary and Hero's Journey characters that you have, and we can go from there. So CLS, yes, you have CLS. You have 2 Zetas on him, which is better than mine is, and you have him max geared. Let's check out your mods. I'm just going to check out the mods in your arena characters. Good, you've been taking some of these mods to 6 dots. That's what I want people to start. 295 speed. Holy cow! Round of applause for 295 speed on CLS. Let's take a look here. 14 speed, 19 speed, 18 speed, 20 speed, 13 speed, 32 speed. Now there's one thing I would suggest. If this obviously works great for you, so I'm not going to say much. I would try to find a mod that has crit damage in the primary stat of this triangle instead of a crit chance. I'm guessing he works well for you. I just find that little extra damage can help big time. Preferably you want it to probably be a potency mod with a crit damage primary stat, because I see you have a potency mod set and a speed mod set, which is good. I would just suggest crit damage in that triangle, but again, that's plus 13 speed is what you're looking for. That's why this is important here. And then in the you have an offensive mod here in the cross. This is absolutely fabulous modding. Great job. I would just maybe look for crit damage in the primary of that mod right there. Some of people struggle with mods more than others, so if you message me and say, hey, I really need help with mods, I will really make sure to focus on that on your video. Next, we're going to look for, I'm looking at the 3 Heroes Journey characters first. Do we have JTR? Let's look at the Resistance characters. And you do have JTR. I probably didn't look hard enough there. That's excellent. And moving for the Sith raid, you have Resistance Trooper, Scavenger Ray, BB-8 with the Zeta, Jedi Training Ray with the Zeta, R2 with double Zetas. Excellent job. You can dominate in Phase 1 of the Heroic Sith Raid. You have all the proper Zetas, and if you want to get Resistance Trooper to Gear 12 to do some more damage, potentially, I'm guessing you have modded pretty well the way. You have a crit damage, crit chance set. Very well done. It looks like you know what you're doing when it comes to modding. So you're good for Phase 1 of the Heroic Sith Raid. Now let's see where you're at with Revan. Probably don't have him, which is very understandable. You don't have Revan, okay, that's fine. And so you have 2 of the 3 Hero's Journey characters. You're going to want to specifically focus on farming these Old Republic characters to get Revan. He is the meta. He's a game changer. I think he's going to be good for a long time, and he'll be good in other lineups as well. You have T3. You have Mission at 7 stars. Excellent. I see here you're working on Zalbar. You're going to want to work on Bastila and Jolie. In fact, I would really prioritize those right now. Really start to prioritize working on Bastila and Jolie, because with your galactic power, if you can get yourself Revan, you're going to be, I don't see you losing a Grand Arena match unless the other team has Traya and Revan. So very well done here. We'll go back to the main roster now, and we're going to look at some of the other characters you have. I wish they had like a filter for legendary characters, because you have Chewie. Awesome. Chewie with the Zeta and 7 stars. Well done. Raid Han. Excellent. I can see you're using this team right here, and we saw it at the beginning, the CLS, R2, Chewie, Han Solo for your arena team, and very good. BB-8, like we saw. Palpatine, very good. General Kenobi at 7 stars. Excellent. Zeta on Barris, can't complain about that at all. Thrawn at 7 stars. Grandmaster Yoda. Wampa at 7 stars. Holy cow. And you have Darth Traya at 5 stars. Get her leveled up. Get his 2 Zetas on her, and I still don't see you losing in Grand Arena with this lineup. I know I've said that quite a few times here, but this is fantastic. You have a majority of the meta characters. So now we're just going to go through and we're going to look through each faction the way it is. Bounty Hunters. When I look through here, I'm going to basically tell you where you look like you're solid in Squad Arena and Fleet Arena. I'm going to help you focus on the raids and Grand Arena and Territory War here, and maybe some tweaking you can do to your arena teams if you want. You have Boba Fett. You obviously have good enough Bounty Hunters to get Chewie to 7 star. And you did it with Boba, Dengar, Greedo, IG-88, and Cad Bane. 5 very unorthodox Bounty Hunters that are hard to use to get Chewie. So that's impressive. You didn't use Bosk, you didn't use Django, you didn't use Embo. Very well done. As you're farming Jolie and Bastila, the other node that I would be farming is the Django node, which also gives you the Hound's Tooth. Going to be very helpful for you in the game, so that is something I think you should look at. So your Bounty Hunters here, you can use them in a team for Territory Wars and Grand Arena. Do a Boba Fett lead if you want. Bosk lead is the one that I like, but you don't have him leveled up, which is fine. Prioritization is how long you played the game. Well done. We'll look at the Clone Troopers. Not very important right now, but you have Rex. Man, you have Rex 7-star max gear. They're close to max gear. That's better than I have him. Great job there. And you have a Wampa, so you can use him as well. In one of his 3v3 or 5v5 teams. 5s, Clone Sergeant, Echo, Cody at 4 stars. Not very important right now. They could be more important as the month goes on or when the rework comes, but I will update you guys with that as that comes out. Let's look at your droids. You have R2 and BB-8. You're already set if you have those guys and you have them Zeta'd. IG-88, Chopper, K2SO, T3M4. I mean, well done. You can maybe, if you want to start farming Grievous out of the Shard Store, that wouldn't hurt. L3 is a good character too, but probably not priority. When I look at your guys' roster, guys, and I see, oh, you're only at level 50, I'm not really concerned with what level the characters are at, because that's very easily fixable. And everybody knows as you get the characters higher level, the more powerful they're going to be. So I'm not going to say, oh, you should really take K2SO to level 85. Everybody knows that. Empire, let's take a look at your wonderful Empire. You have Vader, you have Palpatine, you have Veers with Zetas. Well done. It looks like you have an Imperial Trooper team here with Veers, Death Trooper, Snow Trooper, Stark, and Shore Trooper. The same team I use. Very proud of that, and that's a lot of fun. Now, everybody is telling me to work on Range Trooper, and some people are saying, replace Snow Trooper with Range Trooper. I am not replacing Snow Trooper. Have you seen what he can do? I can wipe out entire armies in 2 turns because of his AoE attack. So, no. Not taking him out. Wow, very done. Well done here on this Empire squad. Again, Gar Saxon Imperial Super Commando, not as important, not used as very much. Probe Droid you're getting obviously through the territory battles. So you have the three best Empire characters, 4 with Vader, Palpatine, Tarkin, and Thrawn in my opinion, plus the Imperial Troopers. Excellent job. Let's take a look at your Ewoks. Okay, for 2.1 million galactic power, I can tell that you've been leveling these guys up to get 3PO, which will be a very good addition to your arena team the next time he comes out, by the way. You have Scout, you have Elder, you have Chirpa. Not as important right now, because I think you should be focusing on the Old Republic characters more so. But to really help you through those events, and also to help you in Grand Arena and Territory War, I think putting a Zeta on the simple tactics is going to help you a lot. It's going to help Ewoks become more viable, and not just to get 3PO, but like I said, in Territory War and Grand Arena as well. They can beat meta teams. They're those pesky little murder bears, as they call them. I beat it with the exact same team here. Chief Chirpa, Wicket, Tebow, Ewok, Elder, Ewok Scout. I didn't have Logray. No, I'm sorry. I had Paplu instead of Ewok Scout. So I think you should focus on Paplu there. That tank is good. Unless you get them all to gear 12. I didn't use Logray, but I can tell that you're slowly starting to farm these guys, which is good. Get them to 7-star to get 3PO. First Order, let's take a look at the First Order. You have Kylo Ren unmasked, and you have him with a Zeta. That is the first good start to having a decent First Order team for Territory Wars and Grand Arena. In fact, I'm going to do a how to mod video on First Order, the First Order faction alone. I just did one on Phoenix. I'm going to do one on First Order. A lot of people have asked that, and I'm not a First Order specialist, but you have First Order Executioner, Kylo Ren, original as I call him, First Order Officer, First Order TIE Fighter Pilot, great squad. You probably would I don't know which character, since I'm not a master at First Order, if you'd probably want to put a tank in there, First Order Stormtrooper at some time, and I think you'd probably want to replace the Officer, but you could replace the TIE Pilot as well. But you have Kylo Ren unmasked with the Zeta, so you can use this team to do damage in the Heroic Sith Raid in Phase 4, just a little bit to work on Scion and stuff like that. Look at your Galactic Republic. You have General Kenobi, Barriss, R2, Rex, Grandmaster Yoda. So let's say we're going to start building a Phase 2 Heroic Sith Raid team here. Yoda, you'd eventually want to put if we're going to talk about Zetas as well, you'd eventually want to put a Zeta on Battle Meditation. And Bastila, Bastila is Jedi, excuse me. I'm just looking here for the rest of the team. You have General Kenobi, you have Grandmaster Yoda. Pretty well done. You know, these Jedi in here aren't the meta right now. Jedi are the meta, but these ones right here, and we'll see what happens in the future. Geonosian, do we care? We don't care. So, well done with that. We looked at the Imperial Troopers. Jawas, do we care? We don't, but you have most of them 2 at 7-star, 2 at 6-star, and 1 at 5-star. Probably people you want to level up to help you win Grand Arena and Territory War at some point in time. Probably the same with the Geonosians. They're just a faction that could help. Now let's take a look at your Jedi. And where is your Bastila? Bastila, definitely somebody you want to get to 7 stars, not only to get Revan, and Jolie the same way, but because until you have Revan, she dominates Phase 2 of the Heroic Sith Raid. Her, General Kenobi, Grandmaster Yoda, Ezra Bridger, and I use Hermit Yoda in there as well. I don't know if you have Hermit Yoda. I don't think you do, because he would be on here. Hermit Yoda is somebody you should be farming. You have Wampa to 7-star. Please use your guild event currency to get Hermit Yoda unlocked, because he's going to help you in the raid so much more. Nightsisters. Okay, well, with 2.1 million galactic power, I would expect one of the big kind of meta teams to, suffer a little bit. Your Nightsisters is going to help you in the Sith Raid. It's going to help you in Territory War. It's going to help you in Grand Arena. It can help you in Arena as well. It's a faction that can dominate the entire game, and it's really, if you want to get into a guild that has the potential to do the Heroic Sith Raid, you're going to need some Nightsister teams, because they can take out P3 and P4 quite easily. So you'll want to get Mother Talzin to 7 stars, Nightsister Zombie to 7 stars. Those would be the first ones I focus on. You have Initiate. And then get some Zetas on Talzin and Ventress. I put my first Zeta on Nightsisters with Ventress's secondary ability, unique ability, Rampage. But slowly start farming the Nightsisters. Again, would they be my top priority right now? They'd be close, but I still think Bastila and Jolie would be the top ones there. But then Nightsisters are somebody that should think about farming to help you progress throughout the entire game. Old Republic characters, like I said, you want to work on Bastila and Jolie and Zalbar, and then when Candace, Juhani, Bastila, Shan Fallen, and Karth become available to farm, you're probably going to want to put some energy into them as well, because they're going to be needed to get character most likely as well. Now we'll take a look at Phoenix. We already looked at them, and Phoenix is the most important faction for beginning game players, which is exactly why I made a How to Mod series video just on the Phoenix faction. Ezra is my favorite character in the game that's a non-heroic journey or non-legendary character. I have a Zeta on him. But as long as you have your Phoenix characters somewhat decent, you have them good enough to get Thrawn, to be able to get the Chimera, well done here. Probably a team that if you have some extra time to put some gear into to get them to maybe gear 11, because they're so useful in Grand Arena and Territory Wars, but a pretty solid team. Let's look at your Rebels now. Your Rebel squad here, you obviously have CLS, R2, Chewie, and Han Solo. With a 2.1 million galactic power, you have focused on the meta that is the Rebels right now, and that is very good. Let's look through the... Okay, we're going to come back to Rebels here in a second. I'll explain why. Let's look at Resistance again, which we looked at. You have a perfect team ready for the Heroic Sith Raid Phase 1. Rogue One. Oh, excellent. You have all these... You have the majority of the characters to 7 stars from Rogue One, except for Rebel Pathfinder and Biston. They're not nearly as important. I'm going to explain to you why this is actually important. You don't have bays unlocked yet. Probably somebody you're going to want to focus, but you have Chirrut, which is important. And again, I'll come back to that in a second. Let's look at your Scoundrels. You have a solid Scoundrel squad, especially when you have Boba with the Zeta, Chewie, Raid Han. You have Bounty Hunters that are able to get Chewie to 7 stars, which means they have to be powerful. Nest is at 3 stars. Even at 3 stars, working on getting her to 7 stars slow, and put a Zeta on her if you have some extra laying around, because she's going to help you in Territory Wars and Grand Arena big time, even at 3 stars. Kira, probably somebody you're going to want to farm in the future if you want a good defensive team in Grand Arena and Territory Wars. Separatist, or let's see, what are we looking at here? I forget half these guys. Dooku, Grievous, can't complain about that with where you're at right now. Sith, Vader, Palpatine, you have Scion. Since you're using the CLS meta right now, I would probably hold off the Zeta on Scion's Lord of Pain. I would not put that on him right now because Revan, and yes, Trey is still the meta, but you have one of the meta teams, so don't waste a Zeta on him when it's not needed right now, and they're not necessarily dominant in raids. If you want to start using, I said this earlier, a Traya team, you could probably put some Zetas on Traya. The biggest reason if you would want to put a Zeta on Darth Sion and Traya is to have a very solid Territory War and Grand Arena team. That would help you big time, but if you're looking to progress in Arena, the raids, Fleet Arena, probably the Zetas on Sion and Traya aren't as important, or Nihilus for that matter. But for Territory Wars and Grand Arena, if you have some extra Zetas laying around, probably do that. Let's take a look at the Smugglers. We've talked about a majority of these. And then Tuskens, no big deal. They're not viable. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each phase of the Heroic Sith Raid and what teams you should use. Because if you have teams for the Heroic Sith Raid, they're going to be able to be used in the Rancor Raid and the Heroic Tank Raid. And we talked about Phase 1 earlier. I'm just going to quick bring it up again. You have a JTR team. You have BB-8, Scavenger Ray, Resistance Trooper, R2. You should be able to do lots of damage. I've made a video in the past about doing the Heroic Sith Raid in Phase 1 with Jedi Training Raid and getting their best scores, so you have a Phase 1 team. I talked about a good Phase 2 team would be the Bastila-led team or Revan-led team. If not, just throw some other teams in there. Imperial Troopers actually work decent in that phase to just get a little bit of damage done. Now let's talk about Phase 3, and that's the reason I was going to talk about Rebels. The Chex Mix team for Rebels. With Raid Han, you could also use Greedo. I find it much easier to do with Raid Han. CLS lead, you have Chewie at 7 stars, and you have Han at 7 stars. Now, you also have Chirrut, but if you have Chewie, you don't need to use Chirrut. So you put in CLS, put in Chewie, put in Han, put in Pow, who you have at level 85 to give offense up, and then you're going to be able to put in your Imperial Trooper team, or the Death Trooper, I mean, from the Imperial Trooper team right there. Give Death Mark, and you're going to be able to go to town. So you have a very solid Phase 1 and Phase 3 Heroic Sith Raid team, which is very good for 2.1 million galactic power. Nightsisters are going to take you to the next level with Phase 4 as well. And I know you're probably going to work on getting Revan the way it is, and he'll take phase 2 to the next level as well. So Nightsisters, right now, if I'm going to help you prioritize on what to do, we talked about Houndstooth. You can prioritize ships as you want, but I would work on those older public characters, get them to 7 stars so you can get Revan next time around. And then to help you progress in the game farther, I would probably farm Nightsisters if I were you, because they're not only great in the raids, they're great in Territory Wars and Grand Arena as well, and that's going to help you progress in the game overall. But, you know, for 2.1 million galactic power, you have Traya, okay, which means you can complete the Heroic Sith raid. I was just helping you complete it and get a better score. I'm going to give you an A. The only thing that's holding you from an A+ actually is having Revan. If you had Revan, I'd give you an A++++. But an A, or A-, I think is what I'm going to say, because this is a very solid lineup for 2.1 million galactic power. Yeah, you don't have 3PO. Oh, well, he's a newer character. You don't have time to spend on Ewoks. Hermit Yoda. You're looking at somebody you can farm just from the guild event store. Definitely be farming Hermit Yoda. That is something you can do right now without using resources on anything else. Even if you use that to get gear 12 pieces, I would stop that. Get Hermit Yoda unlocked first because of how he can help in all areas of the game. So we talked about Old Republic characters. We've talked about Nightsisters, Hermit Yoda, and Heroic Sith raid teams. You have very solid squads. If we want to start talking about Zeta orders, somebody asked, hey, can you give us an orders and what to do Zetas, or what order to do Zetas in? Really, that's going to depend on what you're looking to focus on in the game. If you're looking to focus on the Heroic Sith raid and you're happy with your arena team, you're probably going to want to start leveling up Nightsisters and putting some Zetas on them. If you really want to start focusing on Grand Arena and Territory War, probably want to start putting Zetas on Traya and or Scion to help you with that. If you're going to start building a Jedi team, putting a Zeta on Grandmaster Yoda would not hurt either. So you can think about that. Now we're just going to look at your Grand Arena team, or Arena team here, and I'm going to look at the rest of the mods. We looked at CLS, who was fabulously modded. Now we'll look at Raid Han, which you have a crit chance and a crit damage set on, and he's Zetaed. Well done. He has a speed of 230. That's actually pretty good. Crit damage of 216. His crit chance is 70%. Very well done. A lot higher than I have mine. And he has a damage of, when I get it scrolled up here, 2,903. Wow, you know what you're doing with your mods. 14, 15 speed, 13 speed with some extra crit chance, 12 speed with some extra crit chance, and an offense in the primary, crit damage in the triangle with some speed in the secondary, and then, wow, with some extra crit chance in the secondary here as well. Well done. Very, very good way to mod this character, and if you take these to 6 dots, he's going to be doing even more damage. So, great work there. Now with R2. Ooh, I like this. I like this because I see what you're doing here. You're taking him to 6 dots. You have, let's look at his stats overall first. You have him at a 303 speed. Holy cow. Well done. Very well done there. You know what you're doing with mods. We'll look at the square, which you have offense primary plus 17 speed. You have a plus 19 speed, some extra potency and health in the diamond. In the circle, plus 22 speed. Well done. I'm just looking at speed right now. You have potency in the cross with plus 15 speed. Very well done. You have health in the triangle with plus 20 speed. Very well done. And you have speed in the primary. Now, here's one thing you can think about. I'm not going to give you much criticism, if any at all, for having an R2 at speed 303. With your team you're running, with Raid Han, Chewie, CLS, remember, the number crunch is going to transfer stats to the other characters. Speed isn't necessarily nearly as important in arena when you're running that team, in my opinion. If you have the mods to do it and want to do it, I'm not telling you to change at all. Maybe you want to start putting offensive stats in all the primaries here and give him an offensive mod set if possible, because all of that offense is going to transfer over to your other characters so they can hit even harder. When running him with this CLS team, with Chewie and Raid Han, speed is not nearly as important. It's not nearly as important in actually the phase 1 of the heroic Sith raid either. That's what I would do, but I'm not gonna. You are you. What you are doing, if you like to do it, that works. It just all depends on how you want to use him in the game. I like to have everybody do more damage, so I actually put offense in the primary of the arrow, the primary of the triangle, the primary of the cross, the primary of the square, and then I have an offensive mod set and then a health mod set. But nobody's gonna complain when you have a speed of 303. Then let's take a look at General Kenobi. Let's see, you have him at a speed of 228. Wow. And you have some good health and protection on him. That's what matters. Plus 10 speed, plus 16 speed, and we have a bunch of those defensive stats in the secondaries. The biggest thing I just look for is the speed in the secondaries right now, and that's important. Wow. You have some tenacity boost there. Nice. Protection. And then you have speed in the primary. Ooh, look at all those stats. Very well done. Good job. I use L3 in that lineup instead of General Kenobi. He actually does work better, but L3 is a character that takes a while to farm, and General Kenobi for you works just fine. He's still probably the best tank in the game. And then to round it off, we're going to look at Chewie. You have a crit chance and a crit damage set on him. Excellent. You have the loyal friend Zated. You have him at a speed of 230, and you have him at a damage of, when I get scrolled up here, frozen, 36, 16, and crit chance of 51. Very well done, because he's going to work well. You have really good work on your modding, bud. The speeds you're getting in your secondaries and the other secondary stats that we're looking at. Let's see, you put tenacity here, probably to help prevent from certain effects. You could maybe put offense here in that primary if you wanted, but I also know it completes your mod set. So really, your modding, I'm going to give an A. Because you know what you're doing, you're able to get first in those areas, and we can't complain at all. So overall, this roster, very well done, LePi Knight. It's great to look at a roster from somebody across the world in Germany, and knowing that knowing that you love to play the game, enjoy playing the game, and I love doing stuff like this, because if I could help you in any way, you know what you're doing. You have 2.1 million galactic power. You have the meta teams farmed. I gave you some direction on what I think you should farm next to help you on, but obviously as a player like you know what you're doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the subscribe button, like the video, click the notification bell so you can be alerted to all videos that I post. Also, I'm going to leave a link to my Discord server and Patreon page in the description below. The Patreon subscribers have been coming, and even though you don't have to be a Patreon subscriber to get a roster review, those that are subscribed to Patreon do get put to the front of the line, and but it's not expected at all. Discord server, if you want a roster review, please message me directly on Discord. Try not to leave any messages in the I want you to leave comments in the comment section below, but I don't want you to leave me your ally code or talk about a roster review in the comments below, because it's easier for me to just do through Discord. But I do want you to talk about, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Was this a good video? Did I give instruction? And can I do better? Give me some constructive criticism on what I can do better. Otherwise, peace out, and may the Force be with you.